Climate justice litigation, holding corporations and the state accountable for ecological damage. When a forest is cut down, what exactly is lost? Trees, animals, biodiversity, or something much bigger? What if I told you that climate change is no longer just an environmental issue? It is rapidly becoming a constitutional issue. And some of the most important battles of the 21st century may be fought not in parliaments, but in courtrooms. Climate justice litigation is based on a simple but powerful idea. If corporations and governments profit from environmental destruction, they must also be held accountable for its consequences. For decades, environmental damage was treated as a necessary cost of development. Build the road, build the port, build the power plant, and worry about nature later. But today, courts across the world are asking a different question. Who pays when development destroys the future? In India, this debate has become increasingly significant. Take the Great Nicobar Island project. The project has been approved by the government and is being developed by the public sector through a framework involving major private participation, including the Adani Group's interest in associated infrastructure opportunities. The proposal includes a massive transshipment port, airport, township, and power infrastructure. Critics point out that the project could result in the diversion of approximately 130 to 160 square kilometers of tropical rainforest in one of India's most ecologically sensitive regions. This is not just any forest. Great Nicobar is home to unique biodiversity, endangered species, mangroves, coral ecosystems, and indigenous communities. Supporters argue that the project is essential for national security, trade, and economic growth. Critics ask, can development be called progress if it permanently destroys ecosystems that cannot be recreated? And this is where climate justice litigation enters the picture. Lawyers, activists, scientists, and affected communities increasingly rely on constitutional principles. Article 21 guarantees the right to life. Indian courts have repeatedly interpreted this to include the right to a clean and healthy environment. The public trust doctrine tells us that certain natural resources are held by the state in trust for the people. The precautionary principle requires action before irreversible environmental harm occurs. And the principle of intergenerational equity asks a profound question. Do future generations have rights today? Because if they do, then governments cannot treat forests, rivers, coastlines, and biodiversity as assets to be liquidated for short-term gains. The real question is not whether India should develop. India must develop. The constitutional question is different. Can a democracy pursue growth without sacrificing the ecological foundations upon which future generations will depend? Climate justice litigation is not a war against development. It is a demand for accountability. Because in the coming decades, the most important environmental question before our courts may not be, can this project be built, but rather, who speaks for the generations that will inherit its consequences? And that may become one of the defining constitutional battles of modern India.